So I think we have people joining now. So welcome everyone. If you have a phone nearby, if you don't mind scanning that QR code, and we'll get started in a little bit. We still have about 2 minutes, but again, feel free to scan that QR code, and then if you don't have one, go ahead and go to menti.com on your web browser, and just make sure to use this access code here. Awesome. Okay. I wish I had a little bit of music playing back here. You guys don't want to hear my voice though. Okay. Almost Friday. Yeah. I can feel that one. I was just telling Charles that I'm currently here in sunny Las Vegas, where it's 3 hours ahead, so I'm Pacific time. So I'm feeling slightly tired, but very, very excited to be with everyone today. Okay. So we're gonna give everyone a minute here and then we're going to get started. So for anyone here who is maybe joining a little bit after, I'll put up that QR code here as well. Perfect. Happy to hear. Afternoon, second win. Okay, great. So some people are ahead of me and very excited. All right, we shall begin. So welcome to today's webinar. I'm Melody. I'm going to be your host, and today's webinar is really going to be focusing on impactful learning. So elevate training with interactive training. And today we have a very special guest who I'll introduce in a second here. So this webinar really is going to focus a lot on kind of what our guest is doing in his everyday training sessions. And then of course, we'll do a little demo of how to be able to use Mentimeter for impactful learning. So I just wanted to quickly share this photo. So that is our CEO, Johnny, who, like I mentioned, we are in Vegas at Unleash. So it's an HR conference, and this is one of his sessions that he did. And the session was really about how to transform engagement. So we can see here, everyone was out with their phones, scanning that QR code. So it was really engaging. And I think so far it's gone really well. Today is the last day, and then after this, I fly back home. Yeah, so like I mentioned, I'm Melody. I'm going to be running the webinar, and I'm a customer success manager here at Mentimeter. So what that really means is I'm really focused on the training and enablement for all my customers and having those strategic conversations. Something really fun about me is I love all types of dogs. Our office in Toronto is pet friendly. So we constantly have about 3 to 4 dogs running around our office all day, and I absolutely love it. I'm also a big fan of fitness classes. I'm kind of on this Pilates journey, as I feel like a lot of people are. So shout out to hot yoga and hot Pilates. And then my favorite slide type is also segmentation. So I'm really excited to show you guys what segmentation looks like on our end. This is kind of a slide that not a lot of people are too familiar with, but very easy to use, and it has a lot of insights. I also quickly wanted to introduce two other people that are on this call with me. We have Anna, who is part of our customer support team. So if you ever have any questions, like put them on the Menti chat. Anna will be moderating, or you can also simply put them in the Zoom chat as well. She'll be kind of answering as we go. And then we also have Sunny here with us, who is being my right man here. And yeah, he's part of the customer success team as well. So we have two people kind of moderating the chats. So feel free to ask anything in there. Okay. Again, I mentioned that we have a very special guest joining us. So we'll be doing a little bit more of like an interview style of how he currently is using Mentimeter. Then we'll do a demo for impactful learning. And then we'll leave the last 10 minutes for any Q&A, anything else that you would like me to show you. Okay, before we get started though, I'm gonna pull up that QR code for anyone here that joined a little bit late. I'm really interested in who is joining today from what kind of specific area. So I don't know if you guys have used Mentimeter before, but if you have used Mentimeter for efficient meetings, maybe impactful learning or engaging leadership communication. Okay, I love to see that. Impactful learning. This is definitely the right webinar for you then, because that's our focus. But again, everyone is going to have a chance to learn a little bit more about different ways of using Mentimeter as well. All right, drum roll, please. All right, our very special guest is Charles. Thank you, Charles, for joining us. Charles is actually the lead specialist facilitator at Walmart. He's worked at Walmart for the last 15 years and 9 months. He made sure I was very specific on that number. And something else that's really fun is he loves animals and he actually collects Hot Wheels. He has over 10,000 Hot Wheels. So yeah, Charles, sorry, just one sec. I'm gonna mute everyone. Perfect. Yeah, Charles, please introduce yourself and maybe let us know what is your kind of favorite Hot Wheel or any Hot Wheel that we should be aware of, because I know you recently went to a conference.
Right on. Good morning, good afternoon, team, depending on where you sit in this fine world. Uh, been with Walmart, as Melody said, almost 16 years. It will be 16 years on the 4th of July, where I lead a team of learning and development facilitators within the seller support space of Walmart. We are all directly facing our sellers, but our facilitators train the associates that are actually helping the sellers in a remote environment, which brings in all sorts of issues as it pertains to engagement and trying to keep those associates focused and engaged throughout their training so they can be successful to help our sellers out there in the field. I've recently went to the Hot Wheels National Conference, St. Louis, Missouri. I just got back not too long ago. I don't have like the hottest and greatest thing to share right now, but there was something very organic that happened while I was at the conference. One of the designers actually ended up in my room to check out the Hot Wheels that were available for trade, and he pretended we were going to do a trade. And when he came up, he says, "Hold on, I have something else," and he whipped out this little satchel and had a whole bunch of pens and markers in it, and he actually signed some of the vehicles that he created. And I've been collecting for a very long time since I was a little guy. Uh, this is something I didn't ask for. It's something that I didn't plan for, but it made me feel very awesome at that time. There were several other people in the room. They're like, "Hey, how much is that? What can we trade for it?" I said, "No trades, no for sale." It's just something I enjoy doing, as well as hanging out all the fur babies, kitty cats, and dogs. Got to make sure y'all get along. Good morning, everyone.
Thank you so much, Charles. Really appreciate getting to know a little bit more about you. And I know that we have some folks here that, again, have or want to start using Mentimeter for impactful learning. So I think you're definitely someone that can give a lot of insight into how you're currently using it. And do you have any kind of Hot Wheels near? Oh, you did show us one. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's very exciting. All right, we will continue here. All right, so now we're going to dive into questions to get to know a little bit more about Charles, kind of how his everyday looks like, what impactful learning looks like for him. So yeah, maybe Charles, before using Mentimeter, what did an average training session kind of look like, and how did that affect like the learning retention and performance as well?
Great question, Mel. Thank you for asking. I will say that prior to coming into this role where I supervise this remote team, I was in the facilities, in districts and things of that nature, customer facing, brick and mortar type position. I came to this role in the remote world and I found out that some of our training sessions just lacked the engagement. Folks were drifting off to sleep. Folks were turning their cameras off. There was no real accountability. Uh, I have actually had success with Mentimeter out in the field before, so I made contact with our leadership within our space and put a proposal out there and contacted Mentimeter. We borrowed someone's account for just a little while just to get warm and fuzzy with it. Once that idea was presented and everyone got to see the impact of what it could do for engagement and keeping those associates focused. We were able to introduce it into the classes in the virtual space. Also, different sorts of leadership management meetings that take place on a regular basis, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, things of that nature. And I will say successfully, we have 35 licenses purchased today, and I actually have zero empty seats because I have people all the time reaching out to me asking if they could try it out since they heard about this awesome tool. So it's something that I really enjoy, and our participants enjoy it because we do feedback surveys to find out what they really enjoyed while they were there.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that insight, Charles. I think the biggest thing, especially in the remote world, is that lack of engagement, especially when it comes to joining a meeting through Zoom or any of those, and people have their cameras off. It's really hard to gauge kind of their facial expressions, how they're feeling overall. So I'm happy to hear that Mentimeter could be like that solution for you guys. And also, I know right now that you guys are also using it in a hybrid and a live setting as well, Charles. So maybe talk to me a little bit more. I know this is maybe not kind of one of the questions here that we were asking, but yeah, very interested to see like how you're using Mentimeter in a live way right now in any of your classes.
Right now, we use it in the classes. Sometimes we have remote learners that might be experiencing technical difficulties, so they will be sent to one of the facilities or one of the local offices where they will have Mentimeter pulled up using the technology inside of those offices. The best part about that is we have to make sure that all the equipment is ready to go, everything is updated prior to that happening. You have to really prepare. I always say if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So it's just being ready for that and being able to drive that engagement inside of the virtual world. And also, you have someone with those associates that can help drive that experience inside of the hybrid setting as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Charles. Okay. And then here, I'm going to put up that QR code for anyone here that has joined a little bit late. But I'm curious to hear back from our audience. In one word, what makes a great training experience? I know we've all had lots of meetings, trainings, workshops that we've been in. Some have been really great and impactful and get a lot of value from them. And then there's other ones that, maybe we don't remember, maybe we're not as engaged as we should be. Yeah. Great. So a training should be fun to make that impactful, engaging, new learnings. Okay, I love to see this. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so as people continue to answer here, Charles, I got another question for you. I guess what were some early signs that made you realize that your trainings needed a little bit more interactivity?
Hey, thanks. That's a great question as well. When I first came to this space, I wanted to learn as much as I can about the programs that were here, about the associates here, what they were trained with. I also wanted to learn about our participants, who they were, where they were coming from, and how we could support them. During facilitation audits, I noticed the clear lack of engagement and consistency. So with this, we were able to put this under a microscope, kind of look at where we were when we started versus where we were after we started using it. With those facilitation feedback audits, feedback's a gift. It's about being able to deliver that information in a manner where the person that is getting the feedback can actually learn from that experience to become better. And becoming better involved getting Mentimeter involved in that location so they could fully embrace the tool and fully engage those associates. It's something that we always want to continue to do. What is good? What does good look like? Ask yourself the question. Go in, do those unannounced audits to see where we are versus where we're supposed to be. And then sometimes if we fall short, we deliver the feedback, both things to continue on with and also things to consider in the future.
Yeah, I love that, Charles. You mentioned kind of having like a baseline and then seeing if you're measuring at baseline. And if you're not, what can you do to improve that? So yeah, I absolutely love that because I think a lot of times we don't really know what good looks like, what that baseline is. So I think first starting to understand what that looks like for you and your team and then elevating from there. So awesome. So it looks like here the audience members agree Engagement makes a great training experience, having fun, a good trainer. Okay. I also really like this and kind of what makes a good trainer as well. And participation. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so we're going to jump into the next question here for you, Charles. Um, can you describe how integrated Mentimeter is in your everyday training sessions and kind of what that looks like?
We get Mentimeter involved day one with our participants to obviously find out what some of their experience level is with certain things, such as technology, such as what their experience is in retail, as well as trying to find out what they already know, what they think they know, and what they expect to get out of training. And it's also just like we started this morning, finding out how they're feeling today, because sometimes folks might not be feeling the greatest, and we need to be aware of that because we're all human beings. And being able to connect with those learners right out of the gate is something that we utilize day one. We also use Mentimeter to check in throughout the day, throughout the week, and sometimes throughout the 5 week training program for certain different learnings that we provide.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for mentioning that. I think it's so important to do kind of like a temperature check, even throughout the day, throughout the training session. Again, just to get a good understanding of how everyone is feeling. I think today when I asked how everyone is feeling, people are feeling excited. There might be some people though that maybe it's just not their morning, and that's okay too. We just need to know as facilitators where to meet everyone. So awesome. And then I put up a poll question here for the audience. And what's the biggest challenge you face when trying to make trainings more interactive? And I think most audience members agree that keeping participants engaged is very hard in like in personal, like in real time, also in virtual settings, especially like with, again, us now having the ability to turn off the cameras, maybe have ourselves go on mute. So, again, lots of different challenges, but we can definitely make trainings more interactive, whether they're in person or hybrid or online as well. So thank you, audience. Okay, and then one more thing, I'm gonna hide the responses here. Feel free, again, not to answer right away, but for Charles, for yourself, what changes have you noticed in your training outcomes after kind of using Mentimeter?
Would say that our engagement with our associates, we were already doing surveys way back when, but we changed some of the questions for surveys to find out exactly what this tool was driving. We like the ability to create a sense of camaraderie with all the associates while they're in training. But with that camaraderie comes a little bit of friendly challenge to getting the answer right, but also getting the answer right the fastest. There's ways that we can create that environment. Those associates really love that. And they're always asking, when can we come back for more training and when can we do more Mentimeter?
Well, that's always really great to hear. And I think what you're speaking of, and I'm really excited to show the audience members, is that quiz functionality that we have. So we're actually able to gamify things as well, and just again take that engagement level to the next level on here. Because especially as we know in our office, we have a lot of competitive people that always want to answer the fastest, the quickest, and there's always sometimes a prize to be won. We love snacks in our office, so it's usually some sort of chocolate bar or candy that we give away. Okay, so now that we have enough responses here, actually, I wanted to show you what I did. I actually pressed H on my keyboard, which will hide the responses. And then when we have enough people that have responses, we can press H on our keyboard again, and you'll see the answers come up, right? So this is really great, especially to prevent that groupthink. We want to make sure that everyone has a chance to kind of think about the question and answer at their own pace, kind of what their thoughts are, and not be kind of influenced by other people as well. All right. So, lastly, on here, Charles, what are you most excited about, kind of in the L&D space that you're looking forward to?
I would say the sense of more creative engagement during my monthly touch bases with the Mentimeter team here, which is awesome. They always are sharing things with me. They ask me different opinions around what is working, what is not working, what are some things that would be useful within our space because we're a little bit different, and all places are different. You have to really be able to communicate and find out what works for you, but you also have to be excited and open to hear about what is coming next, and how it's going to be impact your associates or are the individuals that you're meeting with. And if you can keep that open mind and allow this team to show you exactly what this has done in other places, I think it could really open the eyes to being open to allowing it in and try it on. If it doesn't work, go back to drawing board, try something else on. There's plenty of things out there, and certainly things that are interactive that will help boost the morale with your associates that are just now getting started, ones that's been around for a while, and even manage those meetings that sometimes turn into things that people really don't want to be there. So it's about getting that engagement, making them want to be there and have the fear of missing out.
I love that saying, the fear of missing out. Yeah, and I think going back to the audience, I wanted to ask this question, and maybe Charles will take this question back to you as well. Do you have any primary methods for evaluating your training and how effective it is?
My primary method is getting in there doing the live facilitation audits. Make sure that I cover those no later than 24 hours with the specific facilitator that was in there driving those discussions and organic conversations, but also looking at the feedback for the week, for the 5 weeks, and total overall to see what that engagement was. Did we have a dip? If we did, why did we have a dip? Did we need to go back to our presentation and see what's in there? Because when you look at presentations, there's things in there that individuals can create and add into there, but you have to find out, does it have value? I have it set up where if someone wants to add a certain clip, a video or whatnot, I want to validate that clip to make sure, number one, it's not offensive, make sure that it is something that we're going to be proud of, and that at the end of the day, it's going to help those participants be able to cement what they're being able to do with our sellers.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much, Charles. All right, what does the audience member think? Okay, so we got some surveys, feedback from participants. Okay, let me show you what we can do. We're going to do actually a quick little summary. So, if you have AI turned on within Mentimeter, you can summarize open-ended questions as long as there's more than 10 responses. So, as a facilitator, it's really quick for you to be able to kind of disseminate the information on the spot. So, what are people saying? So, lots of surveys and feedback, verbal and written feedback as well. Performance and knowledge check, again, participation, engagement, and interaction, and then assessments and quizzes. So it looks like everyone has a really good idea of how to be able to effectively evaluate the training sessions that they're having. So this is great. Thank you so much, audience, for sharing that. Okay, so now we're gonna kind of do a quick demo here of maybe particular slides, and maybe Charles, I'll bring this back to you because I think at the beginning you mentioned how you really like to use quizzes. It's competitive, it's fun. Is that something that I think everyone, the audience member here, would like to see? Give me a thumbs up if you want to see. Yeah, quizzes. Okay, we're gonna jump into quizzes. And then I think something, Charles, you and I discussed that you use a lot is also the scales. And then I'll show you what this something that you can do is actually trends. So we can take a look at historical data over time. All right, so actually, let me jump into this. Okay, I'm gonna take it a step back. So I'm gonna show you what home looks like. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is go to mentimeter.com. You'll go to home, and then you see here how it says new Menti. You're going to click on this. This will bring maybe to another page. I already have something set up for you guys though. And then there's three pop-ups that are going to happen. You can either start completely from scratch. You can use a template, or you can also import a presentation. So if you have any PowerPoint that you'd like to import or PDF files, it's very easy to do. One thing to note though is if you're importing not PDF, PowerPoint, sorry, it comes out as static. So if you have a lot of animations, it's just going to come out as an image. So just something to be mindful of. Then if you click here on the left-hand side, you're going to see all of our different interactive questions that you can use throughout your presentation. So you can have multiple choice, you can have a word cloud on here. We also have Q&A, which we have currently enabled in this presentation. And then here is the quiz competition. So there's two different types of quizzes that you can do. You can do a multiple choice quiz where there's a certain time allocated, and there's also type in the answer. So really, if you want to take your quiz to the next level, you can do this one as well. And then we also have content slides here as well. So if you're not bringing in anything from PowerPoint, you can create your entire presentation in Mentimeter as well. And then down here, you can see that this is another way to just import your PowerPoint presentation on here. Now, I'm going to go back into the main homepage here, and yeah, here we go. I have a couple questions that are already set up. So, like Charles mentioned, he really likes the quiz feature. Really great for knowledge checks to just kind of get a good understanding of where everyone is at after a training session or during the training session and kind of pivot from there. So you can see here that this slide here is that multiple choice here. So there is a difference here between the multiple choice quiz and the regular multiple choice, right? So this one here is not timed and there's no leaderboard. And if you select this one, you can also select a leaderboard to be attached to each question. And again, it kind of gamifies things a little bit. So oh, I'm giving you guys kind of the sneak peek of what the correct answer is, but that's okay. So when you select the actual slide, you'll select the canvas here, and this is where you'll type in your question. And then if you want to go ahead and give different options, you'll also select that canvas there. You can select which option here. If you click on it or check mark it, that's going to be the correct answer. And then you can see here, you can enable this on, and this is where it gets a little bit more competitive. So you can have the option of more points for the fastest correct answer. So it even like amplifies it a little bit more where you don't only have to be correct, but you also have to be really quick with your fingers. You can also allow them certain seconds to answer the question as well. And this is where we have this turned on. It adds a leaderboard as well. Now you can have it for each question after a quiz, or again, my recommendation is maybe have the leaderboard every couple of questions as well. So we're kind of really focusing on the quiz. And then at the end, we have like the grand reveal. And then you can also add music as well if you'd like. Something to note though is you can't pick your own music. These are pre-selected for you, okay? And then again, this is what that leaderboard looks like. So we'll go through that in a second. And then, yeah, I think let's start there. We'll see how much everyone was paying attention, and then I'll jump over to the slides. So you guys should have a head start here because I already showed you the correct answer. All right, so again, I'm gonna bring up that QR code for anyone that wasn't able to scan the first time. Oh, sorry, I don't think I gave people the chance to join, so I apologize. All right, I just want to show you guys what this looks like. Okay, so what conference is Menti currently at? Is it Unleashed Vegas, Spark HR Florida, or Human Resource Conference New York? Hey, yes. Okay, most people were paying attention. Great job. So we are here at Unleashed Las Vegas. And now this is what the leaderboard looks like. So again, with the leaderboard, it gives you automatically an avatar, and you can pick, like if you want to associate your name, you can put in your name in there as well. But most times, like it will just give you an avatar and you kind of just know who you are in this. But again, just really want to show you how we amplify things. Okay, I'm going to give more people a chance to join. Okay, we have 25 players. I think we're ready to start here. Now, this question here is type in the question, right? So it's not a multiple choice. But Charles collects, at the very beginning, I asked and told you guys, and he showed something very special that he collects. And he recently came back from a conference where people wanted to trade things with him. Yes, the correct answer is Hot Wheels. Okay, we got some, again, if it's not spelled identical, it will give you this error, but all simply you have to do is click on it. And as a facilitator, you can make it go from incorrect to correct. Is this, Charles, is this a good one? Hot rod, is that the same thing? I don't know too much about it.
Well, I actually had some real life-size hot rods that I didn't tell you all about sitting in the yard, so I feel like someone's watching me right now.
Okay, we're gonna give them that point there. Okay, nice job. So let's see. I think it was only 2 questions there that I had. Okay, everyone was quick today, but I don't know. Poofy. Awesome job, Poofy, whoever Poofy is. It really shows here that you were really paying attention, so really appreciate that. Okay, so quickly want to show you this as well. So scales. So scales is actually something that is used quite often in impactful learning. Again, we want to get a temperature check of how everyone is feeling. Notice that I had that earlier in my presentation. But one thing I do want to show you is trends and what that looks like over time. So currently, if you go into presentation here, I can go here and, oh, sorry. So these are the answers coming in, right? And I'm going to go here into manage results. I'm going to reset the slide. Oh, sorry, guys. Clicked the wrong thing here. Oops. Apologies, guys. There's a little delayed. Okay. So we're going to go into manage results. We're going to actually reset the results for this particular slide here. Okay, right. So you asked everyone at the very beginning, maybe of the training session, how they felt about a particular topic. And then you gave your training session. And now you're going back and you're seeing if that content resonated with them, maybe as a facilitator, how you did, right? So you're resetting that slide, asking them again at the end of a presentation. It doesn't have to be at the beginning and end, but it can be each session that you're doing this training, right? And now you're going to go here on the left-hand side and you're going to see a bar pop up. You're going to click on this right now where it says show trends. And we can see how everyone did the first session versus currently. So again, if you highlight over this or even hold this, you're going to really get a good understanding of this content was relevant. Maybe you started off really strong and now we have a dip in engagement. So it's a really great way to follow kind of time over time how your training sessions are landing with everyone. And this information you can actually download in Excel. And again, this information is never lost, so you can reset the results as many times as long as you're able to download the results in Excel. You'll be able to keep track of that. So really, really powerful tool there to use. And then the last thing here that I wanted to show you is at the very beginning, I mentioned to everyone that my favorite slide type was segmentation. And I'm curious, Charles, have you used segmentation in the past?
We have.
Okay, amazing. And what was kind of your feedback? What were your thoughts on segmentation? And then if people can answer here, I want to show you this kind of on our back end.
You actually presented segmentation to us, and we were able to try it on. At the time that we brought this in, we had about 10 facilitators, and we're down to about 6 right now. Uh, I would say most of the facilitators really enjoyed using it, and the other ones just they just we're setting their own ways. They like things better. They like the gamification piece because they are actually folks that are gamers. But we'll say the bulk of my team that has been introduced to segmentation really enjoys it, and so do the participants.
Amazing. And again, some things are a little bit hard to change if you're setting your own ways, but the reason I love segmentation, and again, feel free, I just want to show you here what this looks like, is because you can go really deep with segmentation, right? The first question is just kind of a base level question. And then with this here, we're really seeing people, let's say in L&D, maybe this is the first time they're seeing Mentimeter, or like the training, the content is going way too fast and we need to slow it down and pivot. So it's really impactful to be able to use segmentation to just get a little bit deeper into some of these questions. So I'll show you how I did the segmentation. So segmentation really is just two multiple choices layered on top of each other, right? So this, if I just go, sorry, click down here. Okay. One sec here. We're going to click on this. Okay. So normally, and bear with me, this always happens when you're running webinars or big training sessions. But when you click here on the side and you keep scrolling down, you should be able to see something here that says segmentation. And then you're only going to see slides that are highlighted that are multiple choice and you can layer on top of each other. So you can already preset it like I preset it here. However, you can also do this on the fly, right? So let's see if this works when I try it. Okay, so we are going to turn off the segmentation, right? So no segmentation. And then click here on the left-hand side. And then the only one here that it allows me to select is another multiple choice. So that's easy to select. And then there we go. Now we got a segmentation, quick to be able to analyze this information. And again, as a facilitator, we can take this feedback and pivot as we go. Okay, awesome. Now, that was it for the demo. I know there was a lot of information there that I provided, but kind of the main things for Charles and what I've seen is like really impactful is, again, that quiz feature that we have, the scales and the trends to be able to track data over time, and the segmentation as well, which is just two multiple choice questions within one presentation to go a little bit deeper. Okay, so I know we have about 10 minutes, and I don't know here how many questions we have. So let's go back to the other. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go into here. And let's take a look at the questions we got here from the audience. What is one of your favorite features in Mentimeter that promotes interaction? I think this is for you, Charles.
That question right there is the ones that gamify and help cement repetitive actions that our associates are trying to learn. Some of them actually really struggle to do this to start out with. So it's about being able to present the same question in different manners and allow those associates to try those things on to become more confident in what they're doing. But to jump back to segmentation, that actually goes along with this because I was thinking about a couple facilitators that really enjoy segmentation. They use segmentation a lot when it's going on certain systems. That we utilize, and we use a lot of them. And sometimes it's system overload. So just having a chance to see the visual that we had a moment ago, where too slow, too fast, just right. That is where those facilitators take that real live feedback and are able to adjust their facilitation style and or utilize a co-facilitator or mentor to help those individuals that might be feeling that way. And it's something that we have to really slow down and pay attention to because if we speed throughout all of the systems, when it comes time for these individuals to go and do this workflow, they're not going to be able to do it to a successful moment where they're going to be able to help our sellers.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Charles. I love that insight that you provided. Okay, let's see. Charles, how do you deal with trainers who are scared to implement new platforms to their training session? Great question.
I love that. This tool is something that you cannot break. And if we do find a way to find a glitch or something doesn't work right, the team at Mentimeter here will be able to communicate with you and try to figure out exactly what's going on. See if we're utilizing it properly. Um, Getting those associates that are never exposed to this type of environment, it's about getting them exposed to it and allowing them to do it themselves, also being able to see others that are doing it frequently and just put their imagination into it, have an open mind and able to bring it in. There was one person that only brought a couple Mentimeter presentations in when they first started, and now they probably have probably 10 or 12 sprinkled in over a 5 week course.
Yeah. And I think something to note is as a CSM myself here, I really focus on the training aspect for our customers, really to make sure that they feel good about using Mentimeter. And one thing I always suggest is to start off with maybe using templates. So having a set of presentation that's already built out that you can just set the results every time so they don't really have to think about it too much. And maybe that's a good way to just start off with, get them used to it. And then, of course, after that, like Charles mentioned, with this person that wasn't using it very much, then they start to really get the hang of it and they'll start kind of creating their own masterpieces on their end. Great question. Okay, we will keep going down. Okay. It takes a lot of time to learn a new tool. What should I focus on when trying out Menti in training? What could be the first good steps without making it too complicated? I think I kind of answered this one with using templates. We also have templates as well on Mentimeter. So if you just want to try out like onboarding template or a temperature check template, that's something that maybe Anna, you want to put the different resources on the chat there. And then that way you guys can kind of test it out, get used to it, and then from there potentially start creating, incorporating like very small things, like what Charles said, maybe just start off with a quiz, or maybe just start off with an open-ended question or a little icebreaker to get things going. And then the more you do it and the more you practice, it will become second nature to you guys.
Melody, I'd also add that look within your organization to find out who else is utilizing Mentimeter to see what their favorites might be, and maybe they can share some of those with you, and you can change them up and brand them to what you need them to be to drive the discussion or the meetings that you're having.
Yeah, thank you. Great point there, Charles. I think other people can be a great resource to you guys when starting off. Like definitely if there's someone that uses Mentimeter quite often at your organization, definitely ask them for the tips and tricks there as well. Okay, so I think this one will go back to me. How does the roadmap for Menti look like? Will there be more features that will help me analyze results of my trainings? Um, Thank you so much for kind of asking this question there. I know our product team is always taking into account customers' feedback, so this is definitely something that we are looking at. Right now, what we can do with the results really is just download them into Excel, but I don't want to speak maybe a little bit too prematurely, but I do know that this is something that our team is currently looking at and reviewing to see how we can make those like that data point a little bit more um, easier to analyze, if you will. Great. When using Mentimeter for new hires, how do you introduce and create positive engagement with the tool? Maybe Charles, if you want to take this one.
The first thing I like to tell them is to take their personal device out and get ready to scan the QR code. At that point, they're dialed in. Whether they are supposed to have it or not, they have it close by and they're ready to be engaged. Their phones, their iPads, the company device, but it's a very engaging tool from day one. Some of the ones that are there have experienced Mentimeter outside of our employment. Some of them have not heard about it, but they're interested to see exactly what it's going to do.
Yeah. Like Charles mentioned, it is very easy to be able to put up that QR code, and then, I mean, we live on our phones now, so very easy for us to be able to take it out, scan, and again, I think we're hooked. Okay, I am struggling with trends in Mentimeter. Could you show exactly how it runs? Yeah, I don't know if you still need me to kind of work through this, but maybe for the sake of time, Anna, can you also share some information on trends? And then maybe if the user, if you don't mind, if you still need help after this, maybe you can pop in your information, maybe your email, and I can connect with you after if you still need help. Okay, perfect. Can I get Menti questions into PowerPoint? That is a great question. Yes, we do have a PowerPoint and Mentimeter integration. It kind of depends if your organization kind of has enabled this for you, so I would double check with them first. But it's very easy to keep your presentation in PowerPoint and then just be able to add the Mentimeter plugin and add your interactive questions throughout that presentation. But we can share more resources with you about what that PowerPoint integration looks like. And then I would reach out to your IT to see if this can be enabled for you guys. Okay, we have one more minute. Do we think we can get through one more question? Okay, is there a built-in AI support to investigate linguistic details of open comments for qualitative analysis? Okay, no, I don't believe we do, but maybe someone else here from our team. Do we know more information on this? Maybe Sunny, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Thank you. I don't think we do have as of right now, but we can take this feedback and provide you updates.
Yeah, love that. Okay, thank you so much. We're right on time, and I want to be mindful of Charles's time as well, because he's a very busy man there at Walmart. So again, thank you so much for everyone that could join. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to email me. My contact is melody.hernandez@mentimeter.com, or you can also always message support as well at hello@mentimeter.com. So hopefully this was a good session to attend. Hopefully you guys learned something new. And thank you so much, Charles, for joining us today.